Hi, I'm Stefan, and I'm going to talk to you today about the FXT keyboard. And this is used for currency trading and sometimes metal trading. The keyboard can control one PC belonging to the customer that is running the application FXT. It can also be connected to a secondary PC. Here it's labeled Desk PC 2, and it can be connected to a dealing key station, but those are not available any longer, so the dealing key station is not used anymore. So one FXT, one PC at customer side running FXT, which is FXT and Desk PC 1, and a secondary optional PC, Desk PC 2. Now, what is the difference between Desk PC 1 and FXT button? Well, the difference is that when you press the colored button FXT, the application, if it is started, also comes into focus. When you press Desk PC 1, the keyboard will only control the PC running the FXT application. Cabling. This is the cable attached in the rear of the keyboard, and the other end is for cables, right? This sheet should be available to you, and it's a double-sided sheet, and here I go through what the cables are used for. Blue cables, the old dealing key station, not used anymore. Do not use these two. This leaves the orange for the FXT, same orange as on the button, and the Desk PC 2, optional, right. On the back of the keyboard there are a few pins. It's a old standard way of giving details to hardware on how it's supposed to operate. So these pins are either in an up position or a down position. Up is 1, down is 0. It's like a binary number. However, you don't need to concern yourselves with that, but there are a few options on how to configure this keyboard. And the three options are: the reason for configuring it is what to do, how to react when any of the colored keys are depressed. Okay, so when a colored key is depressed, that is only in use with the FXT application, and the focus can then be changed to activate the PC running FXT, and also to activate the very application, and to perform whatever function that key has, right? So you can configure it in one of three ways. The first way is change focus to dealing key station. There is no more dealing key station. It hasn't been for a while, so that's it. That's a no-go. So you have two left. Change focus to the PC running FXT when a colored button is pressed, or alternatively, don't do anything, don't change focus. Some customers want it not to change focus because sometimes you depress a key by accident and they don't want to change to the FXT running PC, they don't want to change to the application, and they don't want it performed. So some end users want it to be do not change any focus. But what you should do when you are at a client site swapping a keyboard is check the settings on the old keyboard. Then check on this sheet, is it a valid configuration? Yes, it probably is. Then you set the new one to the same as the old one was. Simple. On the back of the keyboard is also two USB ports, and these are not standard USB ports. these ports are some kind of limited serial cabling something. If you insert, this is not like a USB hub, if you insert a USB memory stick, it will not load any drivers. You cannot load any drivers from here. Okay. These two USB connectors are, one is for the keypad, which I'm about to show you just now, and the other one is for the mouse. Okay, if you connect the mouse to this one, you should potentially be able to, when you depress DeskPC2, you will use the mouse with DeskPC2, and when you depress DeskPC1 or FXT, you will use the mouse with that one, so it will follow. This does not always work due to the fact that these aren't standard USB connectors. They will only work with very limited number of mice, and the mice cannot be wireless because that would require drivers. The mice cannot have like advanced functions. It cannot be a high DPI mouse where you have great granularity, anything like that. So standard old boring mouse may work in this. There are also different versions of the software in these keyboards, and sometimes the boxes are labeled with whatever software is included. You can also upgrade the software with the cabling to a computer, and then there's a software to upgrade to handle that bit also. Right, so onwards to the keypads. That was a keyboard. Onwards to the keypads. Now the colored buttons on the keyboard, those were for conversational dealing. So we used to have this application called dealing. We had one called matching. Dealing is where you contact one counterparty and you agree on a price. Matching is where you give credit limits to a number of banks, and those other banks give credit limits to you, and should you have credits left with a bank and they have credits left with you, then an automatic trading can be performed within matching. So you do an offering into the market. I'd like to buy for this currency at this price, and I also like to sell this currency for that price. And then counterparties with credit limits available to yourself and vice versa can sell or buy with yours and mine buttons. So the dealing and the matching were previously available in an old application. These are now available within the FXT, together with a lot of other stuff from the FXall side of things. And on the keyboard, it was the conversational buttons. Here we have a keypad with the matching buttons, right? On this sheet, you can see the keyboard together with a matching keypad on the top row, and on the bottom row you have another keypad, the combined keypad. And the combined keypad you can use with any keyboard at all, because it has a combination of the dealing and of the matching keys. So it's the best of the other two. So maybe an end user is running Bloomberg keyboard, or they have a favorite keyboard that they really want to use, but they still want some of the keys from the matching keypad and from the FXT keyboard. Then the combined keypad is the way to go. Okay, when you swap out anything, you will notice what they have, and you will swap to the same thing that they had, usually. So these can be configured with the pins, much as the FXT keyboard was. But what you're configuring with the pins below the keypads are, should this keypad be connected onto the USB or not USB connector of the FXT keyboard? Should it be connected here? Because if it is, it should have one configuration. Or should this keypad be connected straight into the customer's PC running FXT? Because if so, you have to configure this for that USB connector to be an actual USB connector, where it asks the PC for downloading drivers for this to work. So what I've done on this is I have put the matching together with the FXT keyboard, and I have stated how it is configured to be able to be connected to the FXT keyboard. And down here, the combined keypad, which is used directly to the end user's PC, together with, in this case, Microsoft keyboard, standard keyboard. But you can also take the matching keypad and you can configure it like this, and you can connect it straight onto the PC. Because if you take this keypad with this configuration, you can just connect it straight into a standard USB port. Yeah, and that's just about it. So thanks for listening. Sorry, I forgot one thing. I want to talk to you about RIN numbers as well. RIN numbers are Reuters part numbers, and on the back of keyboards from, for example, the Nordic region, the RIN numbers will not be correct. So there are UK keyboard layouts, there are US, I think there's a Japanese, and there are layouts for Norway, Sweden, Denmark. Okay. But on the Swedish, Norwegian and the Danish layout, the RIN number on the back will always be the UK one. So when customer support asks the customer, please turn the keyboard over and read out the RIN number, the Reuters part number, it will be the UK one. So when you call to the customer and you schedule a time for a visit, you ask them what country setup, what layout, what locales are you running on your FXT keyboard? Are you running the Swedish one? Because if so, don't bring the UK keyboard to site, bring the Swedish keyboard to site. And the boxes are labeled correctly. They are labeled with the Swedish, Finnish, Danish one. But the keyboards are incorrectly labeled. So just make sure that you bring the correct hardware to site.